this was not my first choice of an outfit, but me and my wife seem to play a game every time I'm going to go do something important called, that's not what you're really going to wear, is it? I try to tell her all the time, I'm like, no, baby, this is what I would have wore if I was still single. Yeah, this outfit is what we call in married land a compromise, everybody. The jacket she picked out, it's Armani, and and the shirt is JCPenney. I picked it out. The belt buckle's kind of special to me. A friend of mine actually gave it to me. This is a true story. He was riding in a rodeo event, and he got thrown from the horse, and he cracked his skull open, and he was in a coma for 31 days. Actual true story. And they were going to kill him. They were literally going to pull the plug on him on a Friday. On Thursday, he wakes up and miraculously still lived. And he gave me the belt buckle. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can clap for that, sure. And when he gave me the belt buckle, he said, Bill, I want you to wear this belt buckle just to remind you how short and precious life truly is. And then I also want you to love your wife with all your heart, dude, all your heart. And I said, well, why would you say that? And he goes, because my wife was ready to pull the plug on day 2. I'm so glad you guys came out for the show. When we decided to put this thing together, I wanted to work a small club because the last time I did my first special ever, we did it in a big theater and I just didn't feel the connection. And this time I'm so glad we're doing it in a small club like this. Thank you very much. When we first decided about doing a special, everybody started asking me, well, are you going to work clean or are you going to work dirty? Because for the first 5 years of my career, if you ever kept up with it, I worked pretty clean. In the next 15, not so much. And then the last 2 have kind of cleaned it up again, because I'm trying to get closer to my faith, and apparently God's been looking for me. Who knew? But I try to clean it up some, and then we decided to do this. And sometimes you don't know if clean is clean enough because I had to do a corporate gig about 6 months ago. My agent called me and I didn't want to do it. And I said, I'm not going to do a corporate gig. I don't like doing them. And he said how much they were going to pay me. And I said, well, sure, I'll do that corporate gig. Then he called me 3 weeks before the gig. He said, Bill, they just called Little Wrinkle. They want you to do the show without any 4-letter words in it. And I said, none at all. And he goes, they said it was okay as long as that word is in the Bible. So I spent 3 weeks reading that book. And I know it started out great. Everybody's naked. Then I got lost in the middle by the end. And I'm like, I don't know what's happened now, but there's 4 people on a horse. Right, this side read the Bible, bless your heart. And then he called me 2 weeks before the gig. He said, Bill, they just called again and said not to do anything of an explicit nature in that show. And I said, dude, did they even look at my tape? And then he called me 2 days before I did the gig. He said, they just called again and said, don't do anything that's religious, political, or controversial. So on behalf of me and my agent, I looked down and all I had left was a good night. So I do a different kind of breed of comedy these days. I like to call it adult humor, but without the adult language is what I try to do. It's kind of a different kind of deal because I think grown-ups should be able to laugh, and sometimes we don't need the kids in the room, but sometimes you can't turn down the volume soon enough. I do. I kind of look at it like a Pixar movie, my comedy. You ever go to a Pixar movie where kids are laughing and mom and daddy are laughing at all the same time, but at 2 different jokes? That's what I try to accomplish each night, yeah.